I love about interviews when you go to Brentford is the atmosphere. You can hear that the fans are still there. We saw the team kind of go round and applaud them at the end. And you can understand why, Theo, because taking your Arsenal hat off for just a moment, Brentford have been brilliant at home this season, particularly against the top sides. Yeah, there wasn't many people leaving before the end of the game. It was incredible. It's a great little atmosphere, that stadium, fantastic. And they deserve everything they're getting right now. But there's a confidence and there's an energy about the place, and it's going in the right direction. It always has been, actually, and I feel now they're a really established Premier League team, and they're growing. They're growing very fast. And I was really pleased with Lewis Potter. He did some really nice moments tonight as well. But it's really refreshing just to see the energy that he gives in this young Brentford team, actually, because it is really young. So for me, he's a player to keep an eye on. This is why Brentford are doing well. Players like himself who are allowed to play with that freedom, and I think that's what Keith Andrews allowed for the team to access. OK, well, as we just heard from him, let's take a look at the goal that he did score to equalise things for Brentford. Do you want to talk us through this, Theo? Because I know that you were a little bit intrigued about something that happened just before. Yeah, I mean, we've been in this position before. Well, I have anyway. You not so much yourself. I've got a halfway line. But there was a substitution that was made before. You know, Bukayo Saka come on, and it's kind of unusual during a set piece, because it was a corner, actually, that he came on for, which was here, which led to the clearance that went out for a throw. It could happen to anyone, but it's just more on the fact a substitution was made and you can be a bit disorganised, I suppose. But look, Coyote's got an incredible throw. We know this, but it's all about the first contact. Vandenberg wins it. And Lewis Potter, his movement, his energy around there, and he just smells it. And you can just see here, you highlighted him here. Odegaard is aware of him, however, it's the little initial movement. He's that elegant and that fast, he can't react. And here, JD, the first touch is so important. Yeah, I think with any set piece, really, long throw-ins, there's so many bodies and so congested. I think the first contact's so important. Arsenal normally, they normally defend this well. The setup's good. If you don't get the first contact, you don't get the second, you're in trouble. It's a brave header, to be honest, right into the top corner there. But I have to say, they deserved it. How they played in the second half, they deserved that. And maybe should have gone and won, like I said. It isn't something we see Arsenal do too often. They're so impressive defensively, so robust. We know they were missing William Saliba tonight. I know you said pre-match how much there is squad depth now and they have confidence in the players that come in. But do you think that they looked a bit unsettled as a back line a bit tonight? They looked nervous. They did. It's quite an intimidating place to play football as well, if you're not used to it, coming from different cultural leagues. However, look, I felt like they would go there and do the job. And like Jermaine said, the first half was wasted. The second half, there was signs which were improved when Martin Odegaard came on, and that's how Arsenal should have started. So they'll be kicking themselves for that, with the way they started wasn't the right way. But look, there's still 4 points clear of Man City, and they've just got to keep them at bay. And interestingly, Brentford are so impressive from throw-ins. They've got the most goals from throw-ins in the Premier League this season. They know what they're good at, and they use it, Jermaine. Sounds simple, but they're showing it works. The long throws that come back. Sam Allardyce used to get... stick for that. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it just causes chaos. And obviously they work on being brave. I don't suppose there's much tactical element to it, but you've got to be brave and get the first contact, like I said. And then, and then see if you can get the second one, and, it causes chances. I mean, if you've got someone that's got a long throw, you have to use it. And like you see, when you see the graphic there, it's effective, so you've got to keep using it. What I like as well is where they're always moving. Yeah. Sometimes throw-ins, you wait in, he's rubbing the towel, but they're just constantly on the move. And it's hard to defend it. It's so hard to defend. Yeah. Me and Jermaine, we wouldn't be defending there. I was going to make that point, I'm ready for the counter-attack. But no, it causes so many problems and it just disorganises everyone. And then suddenly you've lost your man because you ran into someone. So it's a great weapon to have. It goes back to kind of something we said pre-match, or you guys pointed out, the fact that once they get the ball, they kind of look to attack. They know what they're good at, and they just do it. And it's like, I said it before, it sounds so basic, but not all teams do that. I think teams try and do it, but you can tell that they've worked on it. Because I think you can win the ball back and you can break, but you've got to do it with quality. You've got to keep the ball. And even before, at the top of the show, we saw a few clips where on the transition, they get to free passes quickly, and then you've got runners, and then they end up scoring. I think that's a skill. That's something that you have to work on as a team. They do it so well, better than anyone in the league, to be honest. How much credit does Keith Andrews deserve? So much credit, because I think they're a better team now than they were last season and the season before. I feel like I think they've always been a good team, a decent team, but I feel like they're harder to play against now. I think there's a sort of clear identity in terms of how they play, and the home form. Any team that goes there, it's going to be a difficult game. It does feel like they're so incredibly well coached, well drilled, and there was a lot said about him being the set piece coach before, but it's almost like that's working to their advantage. It's just refreshing. I think
We've said it at the top of the show, like you were saying, you put players in positions where they're going to be creative and to play with that spark and that freedom, that energy, and Keith Andrews has allowed that to happen in certain ways, and he does not let teams get back into shape. Very refreshing. He wanted to win the game at the end. Some teams would just want to keep that point, but they knew they could smell that they could get a result tonight. That's why he was so disappointed. You could see he was disappointed not getting the win. But look, it's great to see, and that's why we love the Premier League. That's why we love it.
Well, how do you view that point on the road?
Well, a really tough place to come. We knew that very difficult to dominate the game through long periods because they are really good. They drag you to a game where anytime the ball is in and around the byline or in the channel, you put the ball out for a throw-in, and it's it's like a casino. Anything can happen, and something really bad can happen, and you have to navigate through that. I think after the first 15 minutes, we started to dominate the game. They started the second half really well, the first 20-25 minutes. They scored the goal, and from there we lacked more composure, I think, to maintain the ball better, to play in the right areas, to stay more disciplined, because we started to give a lot of unnecessary free kicks away and with bad clearances, and allow the ball in the channels and start to generate set pieces, and they are really, really good at it, so credit to them as well, for sure.
That first 15 minutes, did you make errors that are quite uncharacteristic of your Arsenal side?
Oh, no, it's part of the game. Sometimes you don't start that well, and sometimes it's credit to the position as well.
You made the switch at half-time for Eze for Martin Odegaard. Was that tactical or injury?
Yes, it was tactical. Yes, I think we needed a different kind of profile in the manner that especially they were pressing, and we started really, really well the second half.
And then at the end, as you said, it felt like either team could have won that and either team could have lost it.
Yeah, we had a massive chance at the end with the 1v1 all through for Guy Martinelli, but it didn't meant to be.
4 points the difference now. How much attention do you pay to this?
Well, the same that I was used to pay 2 or 3 weeks ago. We have to do our job, and we're going to have to come to all these places the same like the rest of the team, and we know how tough it is, and you have to be at your best every game, and have the luck that you need as well in games to conquer the 3 points each week.
Mikel, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you can't go through a season and have it.
Is indeed. Well, we can actually get some reaction from the GTEC Community Stadium now. Sepp van der Berg is joining us pitch side, and he looks like he might be a little bit cold, so we won't keep you too long. Sepp, congratulations, firstly, on a big point. I'm saying congratulations, but do you feel like potentially you deserved a bit more from that match?
I think deserve is a big word, but I think if you look at the end of the second half, we get a good opportunity, maybe a couple, to score the 2-1, but it was a tough game. You know, Arsenal is one of the best teams in the league, in the world, so it was very tough for us, but I think we fought well. I think I heard it before. In the GTEC, it's not easy to win games here, so I think we done well. Maybe you can get lucky at the end, but I think the 1-1 we can pride of ourselves.
I wanted to ask you about how you just kept Arsenal at bay defensively. How proud are you as a team, as a defensive unit, to really restrict Arsenal from creating clear chances?
Yeah, I can be very proud of the whole team. It's not only the back line and the goalkeeper. I think we've made at the end a very good save to keep us 1-1. But I think the whole season we've been very solid, especially the last 10 games. Compared to last season, I think we conceded a lot of goals and we scored a lot of goals as well. And I think this season we keep scoring, but we conceded less goals. So yeah, I think the whole team, we just work so hard. Now again, not in the back line, it's the wingers that track all the way back. It's Thiago that runs his legs off. He runs so much every game. So yeah, everyone just put the grind in, and I think that's what makes us a good team.
Hi Sepp, it's Jermaine Defoe here, mate. Talk to us about these long throws. It seems to be so effective. It just causes so much chaos, and you're obviously brave with the first contact, and obviously you score again tonight.
Yeah, I think if you look at Michael, the way he throws the ball is almost more dangerous in the corner. Look, it's so far. As a defender, I can tell as well, to defend those throw-ins, it's so tough. The flight of the ball, runners everywhere, especially the way we do it as well. So yeah, if you look here, I think we're on the move, everyone's on the move. So difficult to defend. And again, I get the first contact, but then you have Kino at the back post, very sharp. And then thing is, again, well executed, and we work on it a lot. So just one of our skills, one of our main assets.
That's the fourth goal this season. So like you said, like it's obviously something that you work on, and that, but it's effective and something that you continue to do, because it just causes so much chaos. And if, like I keep saying, you get the first contact and that, then the other team's in trouble.
Yeah, no, like you say, it's the first contact, because even if they win the first contact, the ball is still hopefully in the area. Like I said, it's almost tougher than the corner because the ball is so long on the way in the air. So it's hard to defend as well, to head it away. But yeah, 4th goal for the season, hopefully many more to come. But yeah, it's, like I said, one of our skills.
I've got one more for you before we let you go, because you clearly look very cold.
Yeah, we're nice and warm in the studio.
Yeah, we are. I just want to say, how impressed have you been? I mean, you're touching distance of European stature right now. You're just behind Liverpool. I mean, considering they won the league last year, how high can Brentford reach this season?
Yeah, I think very high. Of course, it's still, I think, 12 games to go, so it's still, 6th in the league. Well, yeah, 7th. Sorry. No, it's the players we have, like the commitment we have together, the willingness, the way we work every game so hard. We try to outrun our teams every game. I think we have so much potential, so much young talent, so much quality on the ball as well, and even without, like you see today. Again, it's still a long season, but I think we can aim very high. So yeah, hopefully you can make something special happen. It will be very good.
Sep, last one, mate. I know you want to go and get a massage and do your...
You keep saying last one.
Last one. How impressed have you been with the manager? How good has he been?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I heard you guys talk as well before I came on, and yeah, of course, at the start of the season, it's funny to watch those clips back of everyone saying Brentford relegation zone, Brentford is fighting for relegation, or even people saying they definitely go down. It's always nice. Okay, we're not there yet, but it's always nice to have the last laugh. But I think we're going to be proud of everyone. It's not only him, it's the backroom staff as well, it's the whole club.
Yeah.
It's the way they do the scouting. Like, a lot of players left, and we're playing here like no one left. So yeah, everyone. Of course, the manager has been a big part. But again, the backroom staff, everyone coming in, even the guys that were here last year as well. I think, yeah, we have again so much potential. So hopefully, we can make something special this season.
Last question.
No.
One more.
Seth, I'm going to jump in because otherwise you'll be here all evening. It was brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much. Go in and get yourself warm.
Well done, mate.
Thank you. Well done.
Brilliant to hear him talk about the way Brentford season have gone, the fact that pundits were maybe writing them off and that they can potentially have the last laugh. But let's take a look at some of the chances that Brentford did have during that game, because they had a few, didn't they?
Yeah, and I just feel like they would go in and be disappointed they didn't win the game. Again, listen, it's just these long throws, but like I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing here. But I said before about, if it was maybe an in-swinger, it would have been a little bit... Well, this is an in-swinger here, so you can't really generate that much power. I think it's an out-swinger. Even though he'd be disappointed he didn't score, because we probably fancied him in that, but this is one of the chances that he had early on. But great movement.
And Jermaine, what about these ones as well? Because they caused a lot of problems, didn't they? From set pieces, from throw-ins, from corners.
Yeah, and it's sort of like Arsenal normally doing that to teams. But, they sort of like gave Arsenal a bit of taste of their own medicine in terms of the set pieces. Thiago here. You know what, this is unbelievable defending, because even in the situation here, you probably think, he'll find the corner. And there's another one, after this one, that he gets in a similar position and that. But, they just look dangerous all night. On the transition, they look dangerous all night. But it's something that we spoke about at the top of the show. Another one here, that's a great touch. And here you think, right, goal. What a tackle that is.
Yeah, he just slows himself down and he sees the picture already, and he's probably second to that, and his eyes are lit up. I know that for sure. But look, they got better and better. Even when they're 1-0 down, they didn't stop their habits of when to go forward, when to press. But the amount of chances, and yeah, look, they'll be really disappointed they didn't get a result tonight. But look, you're getting all these chances against the top team, and are so-called going to win the league this year, a lot of people said. And they were brilliant tonight, Brentford. Keith Andrews knows that it was an opportunity to take there. But it's look at that, shots. They limited Arsenal tonight massively. It's incredible, the clearances. I mean, I was super impressed with Brentford tonight.
That's the fewest shots for Arsenal in a match this season, and we probably, looking at those stats, need to pay credit to Brentford. Not only did they restrict Arsenal, but they managed to do that whilst having chances of their own.
Yeah, you speak about obviously Arsenal winning and, the 2 points have dropped, but you have to credit Brentford. They've been good against everyone at home, to be honest, and, they're such a good team. They're hard to play against. They play with a lot of energy. All the players know their roles and jobs and responsibilities. And they got quality at the top end of the pitch. And, with the chances that we've just seen there, they probably should have got 3 points on that. OK,
well, let's take a look at the goal that did give Arsenal the lead and what they hoped was...
And Martin Keown and Peter Crouch watching with me. And Martin, Brentford very much on top for a lot of the first half, but Arsenal made the change at half-time with Ødegaard coming on. And it did improve, didn't it, at the start of the second half?
Without doubt, because I think what Ødegaard brings is often missed. The way that he presses really high up the pitch, and Brentford then really couldn't play through the midfield in the way that they wanted to. I felt when the goal came, that was obviously a good moment, but then Ødegaard gets, for me, injured. I don't think quite the same player after that. I think there's actually the Arsenal players that came off the bench didn't quite look themselves, Saka, Calafiori. So that was difficult for Arsenal, but obviously Brentford were making it ever difficult. I thought the standout player, Declan Rice, for Arsenal was almost immense, the amount of distance he was covering. And it was just, it was a standout player. But I think what you do, you take that point and you say, OK, right, we'll take the point, we're off. I think that's now 24 games, derby games that Arsenal have played in without losing. There's 5 more derby games to go out of the 12, by the way. Maybe that's good news for Arsenal, but you can just see, like, I'm getting it in the air from the fans here. That local rivalry is
it didn't bother him at all. Honestly,
is intense. But credit to Brentford and Keith Andrews, what he's achieving here, the way that they developed the team. Obviously, that foundation was created by the previous manager. But boy, are they taking, adding extras to it, the long throws, the set pieces. You can see I couldn't see Arsenal surviving that last half an hour without conceding from a set piece. And so it told.
They've taken some big scalps here, Brentford, though. So a point here is not easy to get. But is the concerning thing for Arsenal fans the performance levels tonight, Peter?
Listen, I don't think I'll be overly concerned. I think it's really hard to break a team down in that low block. I think, they could have moved it quicker. In the end, it came down to a cross and a header from Madueke, but they can't be too disheartened. I think anyone who comes they know they're going to be in a game. It's a difficult place to come. They grind you down, and it wasn't too dissimilar to the Stoke team that I played for. When you just see players kind of, you just feel like it's a matter of time before you've worn them down. The deliveries from Jensen were first class. He's whipping them right underneath the bar. The throw-ins keep coming in, and I actually felt Mosquera and Gabriel did well. I thought they were 2 of the better players for Arsenal tonight. But that kind of pressure eventually tells its toll.
And you felt that Arsenal were going to get it over the line with that Madueke header. It was a really good header from him, Martin.
I think, ironically, he was about to go off at that point, and it looked like it was going to be the last thing he did. It was a really good finish from him. I mean, when you get a connection like that and you head that back across the goal, goalkeeper's got no real chance. I think he actually slips, though, the goalkeeper, Crouchy, doesn't he, in that situation? But it's a really good connection. And then you thought, OK, this gives you now the opportunity to stay ahead. But credit Brentford for coming back.
It actually looks like it goes in slow motion if you look at the goalkeeper here, because all his weight is transferring to that left leg. And this left leg here, if you can zoom in, you slightly lose balance of it. And that's why it looks like it goes in slow motion. You just can't get the purchase to get across and save it. But fair play to Arsenal, great delivery and a fantastic header from Madueke.
A lot about the placement of that header.
Well, you go back across the goal, you've always got more of a chance. I felt like myself when I was heading the ball, you go near post, it's kind of like the way the goalkeeper's moving. If you go back the other direction, he's got to change direction, loses time, and it could be in the back of the net before he changes.
And it was a good response, though, to going behind from Brentford. 10 minutes later, and they've got the leveller through another very good header, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed that the referee was almost saying, do you know what, anything goes. There's a suspicion maybe that there's 2 hands on the back of Gabriel, Arsenal's best header of the ball, but we're told that Rice is fouling just as much. You take the bones out of that one. The referee was making, giving fouls, yellow cards outside the box, but not in the box. But credit to Brentford, they get that first head on it, and then the second header is absolutely magnificent. To react that quickly, it's a really good.
I think you look like you're dying to get in there.
Well, it's never a foul, Brian.
He's got 2 hands on his back.
Yeah, but you can't.
But you're not going to get them. You're not going to get them, and it's almost like, hey, look, everything goes. We can't complain about it, and they're just that bit more physical than Arsenal.
It's almost the perfect throw-in. The trajectory was beautiful. The desire to get on the first header was perfect. And Lewis Potter, it goes one way, it gets in front of him. If you watch his movement as well,
it's more difficult to deal with in a corner, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah,
the low trajectory.
He's got his hands on Gabriel a little bit, and that keeps him stationary. But if we're giving fouls for that, we're giving them all day.
But he's pushed down on him. No, he used him to leave it.
I might as well just have retired from football.
Well, we saw you do it. You did it, and you admitted you did it.
That's all I ever did. And I've got to say, the desire from Lewis Potter there to get in there far more than Odegaard, and that gets him his goal. It was actually a great header.
And a great mentality from Brentford, the way they reacted.
Yeah, but you just don't expect any different from them, you know. I think the culture of the football club comes right from the top. I think, yeah, of course you're buying top players or you're buying good players that you can unearth and they can get better. But it's the characters of the players. You can see they're good eggs. They're good people. They want to work hard, and it must be a manager's dream.
And there he is, the man himself, heading over towards us, Keith Andrews, after that point against Arsenal tonight.
Well played.
Well done, Keith.
Get this side. We've changed what we're doing.
Hands in charge, obviously.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming out again at the end. Just before the game, you said you were hoping there would be a bit of chaos out there. Did you get exactly the game you wanted tonight?
I didn't get the win, but yeah, we created. I thought we were excellent. I thought we were brilliant. In most aspects, from most of the game against a top team with brilliant individuals. First half, the way we approached it, got control of the game, created better opportunities in the first half. Second half, Odegaard coming on changes the dynamics of it and how they play. Obviously, they had control of it for 15-20 minutes, and then I felt we were excellent for the last 30 minutes of the game and looked the team likely to win.
What about that reaction after going behind from your players? Because straight away you were down the other end with chances of your own and got that equaliser 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. I see it every day from them. The attitude, the application, the intent. I'm big on that. The intent always has to be the right. It has to be positive. And the character and the resilience that we have as a group, I think, again, from the start of the season, has grown and grown. And it was something we deserved, clearly.
I'll just talk about the character there, Keith. You know, like that's, for me, that doesn't feel like an accident that you've got good people through the door. I mean, how much of that does come from the recruitment of it? You know, how much does it go into the character of the player as well as the ability?
Yeah, listen, ability is one thing, and as you both know, that brings you to a point. But I think as a team and as a collective, you need good people. So when the chips are down, you know, there's a lot spoken in this day and age about lack of leadership. I see it on a daily basis, the way players lead by example. Speak about it all the time, what players and staff are doing when nobody's watching really is the key. Gone are the days when people roar and shout, really. I was guilty of it, shouting nonsense really as a player, just motivational nonsense, whereas now there's real clarity in everything we do, how we do it, but ultimately you've got to bring good people into the football club that want to achieve and strive to do special things, and I think when you have that, you can do that.
Just looking at the way that Arsenal and the way that, were you surprised the amount of space they were giving you early in the game? Because Eze wasn't quite pressing. You know, when Odegaard come on, it was the reverse. He kind of pushed up against you. It was more long ball for you. You couldn't go through midfield. Did that surprise you at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, I was expecting it better. I think Odegaard is a very good presser when he releases from 10 out to centre backs. I think he times it really well, and the angle that he goes is very effective. He's very, very good at it. When Odegaard normally plays, they normally do that. They do it in different ways when he doesn't play. So, yeah, I always expected a reaction. If I'm being really hypercritical, I wanted us to play a little bit more during that stage and show a little bit more. But equally, it's not easy.
But you're evolving, aren't you? The way the team is interested in your fullbacks coming into midfield now, one fullback going down the line. You started the season, it was a bit more pragmatic, but it seems like now, is that you giving the instruction, okay, you feeling more confident with the group and saying, come on, let's express ourselves and be more creative?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I do give licence to the players to express themselves, to react off each other's movements. I think the way we play now is constantly evolving, and I want us to be unpredictable, really, for the opposition. I find it easier to prepare for a game when I know what the opposition are always going to do. And I think the same would probably be said about us. I think there's real unpredictability in how we play.
Keith, you were quite vocal with the referee at the end. Was that about Gabriel? Did you feel he maybe should have had a second yellow?
I think it was a definite yellow, yeah. It was a definite yellow.
Do you know, I'm not even going to argue with that.
There was enough yellows given out today.
Yeah.
And it felt like that was another one.
It kind of felt,
isn't it?
I don't know how you felt, because you profited from it, but did you feel this referee was kind of like, well, whatever happens in the box, do what you want? Outside the box, he was giving a lot of fouls, a lot of yellows. Were you feeling that?
I just feel like the first few fouls always set the bar for how they referee the game, and there's always that level, isn't there? And then I felt a few times in the first half we weren't getting quite the rub of it. I think inside the box today, I was really happy with our movement. I was really happy with our body language. There's a lot made, obviously, of Arsenal set pieces. We're not so bad ourselves.
Well, and certainly not, because Man City are the only one of the top 6 who've actually come here and got a win this season. What does that say about the mindset of your players?
Yeah, it's impressive. I think it goes back to what you were saying about the type of people that we have here that want to push, want to really strive to achieve something. It's a young group, really. If you take Jordan out of the equation, he probably tilts the average age by a few years. There's a lot of young players looking to make the way and are constantly learning at the toughest level of world football. So they're just a pleasure to work with on a daily basis. I look at other groups sometimes. I wouldn't particularly want to manage other groups. The way I see, the way the game is now, and the way maybe managers are the first to go in certain scenarios, whereas I think what's been built here for years and years, the culture, the togetherness, I'm big on that. I wanted to maintain that in the summer and then enhance it, and I feel we've done that.
You've got a very different test next because it's Macclesfield, but you're on 40 points now in the league, so you haven't got to worry about the league at the moment, so you can go strong. Are you going to target a good cup run?
Yeah, we target the League Cup. We went to the quarterfinals and that. We took that very seriously, utilised the squad, but equally took it very, very seriously. And the same will be the case for the FA Cup on Monday against Macclesfield. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well done on an impressive point tonight.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Keith.
Well done.
See you, Martin. All the best.
Well done, mate.
It was interesting what you were saying there at the end about the culture of the game and managers being the first to go, but Brentford...
I think it's, do you know, I find it really refreshing because of the way that he's come into the game, and he may have felt he's gone into the punditry world, and he had a couple of jobs, didn't he, as a coach, did one with Martin O'Neill, and suddenly he's come in and he's embraced it, and maybe he appreciates things a little bit more, and he's doing a lot, he's giving a lot of praise to his players the whole time. We heard the reaction, didn't we, afterwards they interviewed the players, and he's getting results. And he's built on an incredible platform, there's no doubt. And this club's really well run in terms of its recruitment. And look at the strikers they've had, Ivan Toney, Thiago. They just sold 2 last season. Incredible players that they're getting through the door. But you've got to be able to work with them. You've got to improve them. And he's certainly doing that.
But do you think the club itself gives managers the platform and all the tools that they need to thrive?
Yeah, I mean, this club, for instance, a player might not get in another Premier League club, no one's ever heard of him, they'll give him a chance here and they give him a platform to go and play. And when you listen to Lewis Potter talking after the game there, he tells us how good we are every day. There's a lot to be said for that. Just telling, if someone tells you how good you are, it builds your confidence. You're like, yeah, I can go out there. We've got Arsenal today, but I'm as good as them. And I think there's a lot to be said of the management skills, and I think that's kind of, it feels like he gives that license to them, he gives them the belief to go out and play. And not everyone responds to criticism consistently.
Do you know what? You guys are great.
Yeah. I know that, Liz.
Look, it is confidence. I mean, people will say, what was my role in the Arsenal team? I was just spinning plates, telling people how good they were all the time. And the better they played, the less I had to do.
They weren't bad, though, Martin.
They weren't bad. They weren't bad. The Vieira's and Henry's.
Martin is the hype man.
Right. But honestly, even those great players need to be told, repeatedly told, and that's what the manager. Obviously, it's working for this manager.
Does he inspire you to get into coaching?
No, I think I'm too late.
There's a job at Spurs.
Too late. Unless I go as
Spurs job. It's available, Martin.
Can't do that. No. I've turned it down already.
Guys, we've got to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we're